trying to have a conversation with you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Are you listening? Do you hear me? 'Cause I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Welcome to I'm Trying to Have a Conversation with You, a podcast with two sisters who never seem to be done talking. I'm Kasha.
And I'm Monique.
And today we're going to do the showdown. Dun, dun, dun. I'm heavily afraid, though. I'm not sure we're going to win this showdown. I'm sorry for the millennials, but I'm scared. I'm scared.
Oh, yeah.
So
Y'all
this
ain't. I hate to tell
is
you.
Gen X versus Millennial showdown. Now we will have categories. I'm not gonna say who wins. I mean, I think that it might be obvious in what we discuss, but I would love to see in the comments, I would love to see on socials for you to weigh in and let us know who you think was really winning. You know what I'm saying? But I'm scared because there's some things I used to look up quite a bit to Gen X, but I don't know, millennials, we had our time. We had our time.
We
Are
built
you ready to
different.
get into it?
Yes.
Who do you think is the best generation, Monique?
Here, I'm going to be, this is an honest answer. Excuse me. I believe that with every generation, there is some level of getting better. But
Mm-hmm.
my mom used to always say, kids are getting wiser and weaker. And I believe that is 100% true. I believe we are
Mm-hmm.
building smarter children because I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
for sure.
I have to, don't tell my son this, but I have to use Google, Picture, Chat GPT, all the things to help him with his homework.
Facts.
Um, because he's doing stuff that I wasn't doing till I got to like high school. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what am I going to do when he hits 8th grade? um,
Girl.
but I believe we're really building a generation of children who are so much weaker because we as
Mm-hmm.
parents, children have not changed. We as
Yeah.
parents have changed. And every generation of parents is trying to make their kid not go through the same struggles that they did, forgetting that the struggles made you who you are.
Yeah.
And they helped you to be resilient and be able to deal with adversity, be able to deal with conflict, be able to deal with conflict resolution. And we are so protecting them that they're not learning those kinds of things. We are
Yeah.
teaching them that when they want something, we'll give it to them because
Mm-hmm.
we can do it. And whereas our
Mm-hmm.
parents, we didn't have the advent of Amazon, and I'm sure we'll get into this things like that a little bit more, but we had to wait. We are
Yeah.
taking away teaching our children how to wait, and it's making them weak. We are
Yeah.
taking away them having their feelings hurt. We are taking away them having like things happen to them, and we are
Yeah.
setting them up for a life of misery because when those things happen, because we cannot prevent them all, they have no
Yeah.
idea how to deal with them. They don't know how to deal with no. They don't know how to deal with wait. They don't know how to deal with, um, you can't have this.
Yeah.
And that lesson starts when they're babies. When they take a
Yeah.
toy from somebody, we should not tell them, we're going to go buy you one. No,
Mm-mm.
that's not yours.
I
Give it
hate that
back.
answer. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
yours. Give it back. I will
Yeah.
tell you, I never, ever, ever had to fight my son out of a store. Not once. You know why? Because from the time he was little, I used to let him play with whatever he wanted in the store. And then I would tell him, tell it bye-bye. Tell it bye-bye. And he
Amen.
knew, no, bye-bye. See you next time. And
And
there were
I,
other times where I'd be like, okay, we'll take that one home. That is the beginning of teaching them about the yes, no, wait.
yeah.
And those are answers you get across the board. Like,
Yeah.
I always tell myself, my son was cute, y'all. I'm gonna tell you, he was so cute. He was the cutest baby ever. Um,
One of
but
them.
yeah, you're right. He was one of them because her babies were cute too. They were so cute. Anyways, but I used to remind myself, even when he was that cute baby that I was holding like this, I used to have to remind myself, I'm raising a man. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
raising this cute baby. He's not gonna stay like this forever. They're not
Mm-mm.
made to stay that way forever. And I'm made to leave him. I am
Oh
made
yeah.
to, at some point, leave him in this world alone. So if I have
Yeah.
ill prepared him for it, that's on me. It's on
That's
me.
facts. That's
So
facts.
The best generation, I say we all have a version of the best generation. I just think that with the evolution of how we parent, we have changed each generation a little
Yeah.
bit.
That's
But if we're
interesting
just
because
talking about we about to get in the ring, let's go, baby.
I know.
We gonna win.
So the thing is, that's funny. Like, I think we should get into that one day too, as well as like the generations behind us.
Hmm.
Um, I think our children are like Generation Alpha, Gen Z-ish on the end of that. I
Okay.
do respect for those generations after us for having a little bit more, sometimes to a fault, but like a little bit more understanding of what they will and won't do. Um,
Yes.
I think our generations are willing to take a lot more abuse and willing to take a lot more disrespect and willing to settle for less a little bit more than these generations after us. So I respect them
Hmm.
for that. And I say that for my like working life coming up, I guess, millennials, we getting old. So now the younger generation is getting into the workforce and I'm seeing them like make those demands with no qualms. They do not
Yeah.
care. You know what I'm saying? So I
They
would
don't
love to get
feel bad
into
about
that.
it.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
at all. But as for today, it's this is up for debate, but your age group is the Gen X. Okay.
We built different,
And
baby.
you built different. My age group is the Millennials. And
Yeah.
so I just want to see like where we stack up, where we
Millennials.
stack. Millennials. We
Oh,
got pinged. The Millennials got pinged with buying avocado toast in Starbucks instead of investing and taking care of saving for a house, which I do not subscribe to. I don't think that's the reason.
but there was a lot of y'all in Starbucks eating avocado toast.
Avocado toast did not stop them people from buying the house.
I mean, avocado toast is expensive,
It is, but when I'm telling you, you sitting
and
over
so
there,
is
you talking about,
Starbucks.
oh, this $7 how you spent on this, man. I could have had a house if it wasn't. I ain't spent $7 today.
I mean, if you spend it twice a day, it can
And these
add up.
houses, the way these houses is going up,
Housing,
the way the wages have not gone up,
that's true.
and I'm saying percent wise. I'm not saying dollar for dollar. I'm like percent wise, like how you supposed to buy a house. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Okay,
But let's
very
get
well.
into it. So I
Let's
broke this
go.
down into categories of
Let's go.
kind of like loosely our childhood, our teenage years, and our young adult years. And I say that because I think that's what makes the generation, those things
Hmm.
like us growing up, what we were doing as teens and what we did as young adults. Like now,
Hmm.
I mean, we're just obsolete. We're just doing what we do, but those are the things that
Right.
built us. So, you ready?
I'm ready. I
Starting
like
with
this fight.
childhood, I'm gonna let the elder go first. Starting with childhood, what do you think that Gen X did for fun that was just the best and no other generation could understand?
Baby, we would play epic as kids, epic hide and go seek, freeze tag, Red Rover, Red Rover. They don't even allow you to play Red Rover anymore because
Nope.
kids are so
No.
soft. Um, Baby, if you
Gen
got
Z's coming for you.
clothesline,
You better quit calling the baby
I don't
soft.
care. Come for
You
me
gonna
in the
get fucked.
comments.
They gonna
Please
slide
do.
on you.
Please slide in here. I don't care. Keep in mind, slide in here. We are the ones that are ready. We ready to
Stay
fight.
ready.
Okay. Stay ready to fight. We used to come home by ourselves. Nobody's parents was home. So fighting at the bus stop, nobody was there to break it up. You just did it. That's why I still subscribe to the fact that I'm never afraid to get in a fight with nobody because I might lose and I don't care. But it's not going to be easy if I do. I don't care. Don't bother me. Zero anxiety if somebody said they're going to fight me. Okay.
I I
What
will
time?
say that my man is basically Gen X, and he cracks me up when we talk about fighting, and I'm like, oh, I would never want to get into a fight. Like I will fight, I just don't want to fight. Man, like I don't want to get into it. And he has no, and I'm like, oh, I always say my famous line is like, what if I lose? Like, what if I start losing? His favorite thing is like, bite them. He's like, if I'm losing in a fight, like hand to
All
hand
bets are
combat, I will
off.
bite you. I was like, what's
All
wrong
bets are
with
off. For
I
sure.
think that's the funniest thing. I'm like, he's
Yeah.
not worried
All bets
about
are off.
losing. He's like, oh, wait a
No.
minute. They out punching me, they can kick. I'm finna
I'm
bite
gonna
you.
bite.
Like, it's
That's why I said we built different, baby.
built
We
different. I'll give you
always
that
have
one.
a backup plan. But, like, I remember being a kid, and in our neighborhood, it was a pretty large neighborhood. I mean,
Yeah.
not in comparison nowadays because we build these mega neighborhoods now. But back then in the 80s, it was a large neighborhood and there were kids everywhere. And when I say we would have like hide and seek would span 3 streets. So
Mhm.
if you can imagine you searching 3 streets for people trying to find them, baby, but
Block after block.
there was also, no kidding, like 30 kids in this game. And sometimes it was so many, we would have like, multiple people being it. Like you had to have a team of its. So because it was wild or lag, they kids would be everywhere. And I don't know how y'all play tag, but with us, if I got tagged and I was frozen, somebody had to crawl under my legs.
Oh,
That's how
yeah,
I got
sometimes, yeah.
unfrozen.
Yeah.
And it was epic, let me tell you. Um, the way we played, I guess it was that in general. The way we played, the way we ran together as kids, unmatched. Unmatched because um it was we used to play neighborhood football games. We had so many people in the football game and it was amazing. We would have literally we had benches, like we could sub players in. It was great. And then the
That's
last thing I would
hilarious.
say that was right in there with it was we skating rink, baby. Skating rink was everything. Every Friday night, every Saturday night, we would have an all skate from 7 to midnight, and we were going to be there. The whole neighborhood was going to be at the skating rink, skating. If you had your little supposed to be boo thing during slow jams, you were going to be skating next to each other. Um, don't get out there and be able to backward skate. Stop it. Shut them down,
Girl,
Monique. Shut them down
girl.
if you can backward skate. I just feel like we played so different, and I believe
Mhm.
that built our character too, because of the fact that our parents weren't there to regulate if we got into a fight. Sometimes if you were 3 streets over doing hide and go seek, that's where your fight happened was 3 streets over. So
Dang.
it was what it was. You know,
You'd be like,
and
"Mama,
you had to
help."
still you had to still go back and play because we not gonna stop playing now because you mad.
After you had a fist fight.
Nobody gonna stop playing. You need to come on, stop playing, man. So the way we played was epic.
I will say that that's where I feel like, I feel like millennials were the generation that closed the doors on that outside fun or outside of the house fun. I think we were like the
Mm,
last ones to do it. And we were the ones who became those video game kids, you know? So
mm-hmm.
it's funny because I do have those memories, but I remember it like the fade. I remember the fade away where it was just like after a while I just didn't see kids playing outside anymore because we did
Yeah.
that. We did the hide and go seeks and we did not do the football games, which sounds very epic, but we did not do that. I didn't really see that, which maybe the boys, but the fact that involving like all the girls and everything, I didn't see that as much. Um, I was never, to this day, I really want to learn to skate, but I did rollerblade for a little bit, but I
Not the
never
same.
got a chance to be like the skating rink person. I did know some skating rink people though. Like, so I will say I will still ping that as a millennial shut the door on that one. Um, the movies, like going to the movies with your friends and all that kind of stuff, that was another thing. I mean, they do it, but I mean, Netflix, like, it's like video killed the radio star. Like,
It
it's
did.
like Netflix killed that movie industry of being there. And now I feel
It
like
did.
movies, you have to do something. You have to serve dinner for people to be excited to be there.
For sure.
Um, but I remember that being a thing. Like, we're going to the movies, guys. It was a whole thing. Um, and then going to the mall, which I feel like we were the last generation to close the doors on that. Going to the mall, oh my gosh, that was
Malls
such
have
a
died.
thing.
That's why
Malls
Amazon
are
killed the
dead.
malls.
Amazon killed the malls. When I tell you, like, I have like vivid memories, and it didn't, like, I was never a kid. I was never embarrassed of my parents, ever. So I didn't care who I was with at the mall because sometimes I see
No,
people from school be like, "Mom, that's so and so. Hey, so and so." Like I loved being at that mall. It was just such an energy, and that's something
it's
we would
so
never be
funny.
able to get back because, like, do you remember going to the mall
Oh, yeah.
and just
The
like
mall was a thing for
dressing
mind you,
up for the mall?
for the mall. We
And
had so many malls too, so, like, you had to pick
yeah,
which mall you were going to, and your outfit had to match the vibe of that mall.
the vibe, baby. I'm telling you, and it didn't matter from what mall for me. I didn't care what mall I was at. Like some people was just like, "Oh, I'm not going to that mall. It's a little, hood." I'd be like, "Where's that? Can we go?"
Those were fun.
And then on the other end, there was people who was like, "I ain't going to that preppy ass mall." I'm like, "I'm going. I want to see what's up there." But I enjoy the mall, baby, and I think we were the last. That's the one thing I regret about our generation. We closed the door on all that,
Yeah,
and then that's when we became which video games started in Gen X time. But when we got the graphics, we didn't know what to do with ourselves, girl. We got glued to the TV. And we were
yeah,
the generation they were like, these are going to be all the serial killers, guys. The news was warning everybody.
they
Everybody's going
were.
to kill somebody because they like these games where they like to kill people.
They did. They talked about y'all bad too. I
So
will
I
say
will say we had fun, but go ahead.
we had video games, but I was just as you were saying that thinking, there was never a time that our parents had to tell us, "You need to get off that video game, you've been on it too long." We would
Hmm.
play, and we might even spend, like, a day locked in the house playing, but we
Yeah,
had to get outside. We
yeah,
had to.
yeah. I definitely feel like I remember I had some moments where I was like held up. Especially for me, I don't think I was never a kid who was so locked in where I just didn't have a personality. But there was times when I played Tekken back in the day, Tekken 2, baby. Whew. I used to be like, I got to beat him. What was it? It was the one, I can't, Heihachi or something. He had like the two, like he had a bald spot and his two spiky hair right here. I was like, oh, he giving me too much stress. I gotta get him. And
Oh my
Jinkazama was
god.
my one. I was like, that's what I thought.
That's
But
what I thought.
yeah, we were the heavy like video game generation. So I think we were the ones who started shutting those doors. We started
Yeah.
making neighborhoods dead. And so I will I give it up for Gen X for that one. You guys were the
Yes.
goats on that one. Y'all used to
The
play
way we
outside.
played, baby.
And I think we were the tail end of being a millennial was when parents started being really overprotective. Gen Z got it all the way through, baby, but they got really overprotective. Um, that's when you start seeing more after school programs pop off and less of the latchkey kids who just came home with a key, which I was one of the kids who came home with a key. I was like, let me tell you, time of my life, best
Best
days
time.
ever. When I
Boy,
used to
you
come
ain't
home and make me a weird snack that nobody could argue with me about by
baby,
myself. Why is you eating pickles and cheese? Nobody can tell me that. I was like, and watch after school cartoons, baby. Don't bother me. Don't aggravate me.
babe,
That was a time.
it was a time.
Um, speaking of after school cartoons,
Okay.
who had the best cartoons? Well, name your best. Name your tops.
Okay, first of all, we had the best cartoons because Saturday morning cartoons were fire. They were fire. Even the neighborhood, like, that's when you could come through and there were no kids on the street. From 8 to 12 on Saturday morning, there wasn't none of us out there because we had to get our cartoons in. You wake up, baby mama didn't give us no hard time about what to eat. You got yourself a bowl of cereal. Your brother used to get a cereal bowl. I'm sorry, not a cereal bowl, a salad bowl of cereal and sit in front of the TV, baby, and just take it all in. And me, I used to watch all of them too. Smurfs, uh, Get Along Gang, the Monchi Cheese, Flintstones, Looney Tunes was my shit. Okay. I know that people say that Bugs Bunny is controversial, but I used to
He
fucking love
was
the way he used to
in every
set
way.
off. He was in every way. I'm not debating that, but I used to love the way he used to set Elmer Fudd's ass off. It was top tier. Okay. But my favorite out of there was Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote. And don't give me an episode where they were actually talking. Oh my God. I
You were
loved how
through.
formal they were while they were trying to mess each other up.
I used to feel bad for Wile E. Coyote. I'm like, please, man, Roadrunner, slow
Baby.
down. Let him get a
Roadrunner
lick or
never,
something.
no, he said absolutely not. Keep your foot on the
Mimic
gas at all times. That's what he said. That means keep your foot on the gas at all times. That's what that meant.
and
He
be
didn't
going.
play. Baby, Acme, I used to love how you could order a black spot from Acme and lay it on the ground. Baby, or order an anvil, how he would order an anvil and have it delivered and dropped on the Wile E. Coyote.
Cartoons confused me because for a minute I
Babe,
used to think anvils were easy to come by. I was like, I guess you can just go to
babe,
Walmart and get you
I've seen one in my whole life. And let me tell you, when I saw it in real life, I was like, oh my gosh,
that is
it's an
huge.
anvil. Amazing. And then I graduated to watching like Jim. I don't even think you know that about Jim,
I do know who
baby.
Jim is, but
Jim,
yeah, it wasn't my time.
Jim, um, Hercules, She-Ra, baby.
Hercules.
Not Hercules, He-Man. I said Hercules, that was nice.
She
He-Man.
don't even know
He-Man and She-Ra. I used to love myself a heroic comic. Love
Mm.
myself one of them. And used to watch it
Mm.
like it was a story too, like a soap opera. Oh, you seen what happened? Oh my goodness. He-Man better do something about that. He better turn. He better do something. And then we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that rolled in. They
I
started
give you
like you
that
had
one.
the blend of the old cartoons with
Transformers.
the new. Transformers
I
shut
ain't
them
trying to help
down.
you out, but Transformers was a good one.
Transformers
Robots in
shut them down.
disguise.
Best ever. And then
More than meets the eye.
Thundercats, Tube Thundercats. Don't forget them.
Oh.
Loved them. Chitara, I was gonna be her when I grew up. Um, so that was cartoons were top tier, and they would throw in there some cartoons that were educational. I liked them too. I'm just a bill sitting here on Capitol. I used to love him.
Schoolhouse Rock was in they bag, baby. I ain't finna lie to
Baby,
you. I don't even want to
in
help you out, but
in a
Schoolhouse Rock was
bag.
in they bag, baby. I was like, what? And he would just be breaking it down. I'm just
Teaching
a
you
bill. I said, what?
all kinds of stuff too.
My
Teaching you how
favorite
to
conjunction function.
function.
What's your function? Yeah, they used to be cutting
Baby,
up with that. I'm like, I know that studio was popping when they was singing them songs.
that's why our cartoons were better. They were creative. The cartoons that came after that are either copies or they're just so lame. It's not like I have tried because I'm not one that like grew up and was like, okay, I'm an adult. I can't watch cartoons anymore. I stopped watching them because they were lame. And I'll tell you what, if you turn on the TV now, Saturday morning cartoons, there are none. There's none. It sucks. You could
Netflix.
literally, I knew it was
That's the
time to
reason
turn
why.
the TV off when Creature Feature came on because I'd be like, nope, that's scary.
Out of there.
Nope, because you've seen that man. Mind you, sidebar, he lived in the area where I lived, not
Oh
in my
yeah.
neighborhood, but he lived in
Yeah,
our
but
in
it's
our
in
city,
town.
and you
Yeah.
could see him in real life. No, and he looked the same.
I would
Jesus,
look him up on YouTube.
baby, that man was scary. He looked like he died 30 years before he started being on TV. Um, but then we knew it was time to go outside and play. You had your cereal, you watched your cartoons. It was ready, baby. It was ready. On and popping.
I will say y'all had some good action and very creative action cartoons. I will say that. Um, for the purposes of just respecting the generations, I won't discuss. No, I don't want to discuss anything that's a remake that I got to watch. But I mean, honorable mention, Batman of the '90s, baby,
So
baby.
good.
That's where Harley Quinn came from.
Yes.
Baby gangster. I used to
Hmm.
love that Batman. Okay. I got down with that Batman, but that's an honorable mention because that really started like way back in our parents' days. So I'm not gonna
It did.
take that. Scooby Doo as well. Scooby Doo was pretty good. They
Oh,
started doing songs on the Scooby Doo when I was growing up. You know,
yeah.
if you know a millennial know about the Hex girls, like baby, they used to get down, but that's a whole nother thing. But
What?
the Hex Girls, baby. Earth, wind, fire, and air. We don't. Oh, let me stop. Um, that was a jam. But
Oh my
that's what I said.
gosh.
That was that Scooby Doo. Um, So there was cartoons that I really got down with that I felt like was my generation. Um, Gargoyles, which seemed like something I wouldn't watch because I was very scary. But girl, come
Never
on,
heard of it.
millennials, tap in. I'm gonna need you to really get into this episode. Gargoyles,
Never heard of
Gargoyles
it.
was y- you missed out. Go back and look at Gargoyles. That was a show, baby. I used to enjoy that show. They used to be stoned all day, and at night they would just like come alive and be like, "Hey, hang out with some chick that was I think she was a news reporter or something." It was like similar to how the girl from Ninja
Teenage Mutant
Turtles.
Ninja Turtles
Yeah, she
remake.
was like, it's not a remake. But anyways, she used to hang out with them and I'd be like, what? It was so cool. So I would say Gargoyles, top notch. I probably use the same animation as Batman of the 90s, which was top notch. You know what I'm saying? I gotta mention that again. Um, then I used to love Doug. Do you remember Doug?
I do remember
Do do
Doug.
do 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 do. Doug was a
Yeah,
jam. He had a lot of interesting friends, so he had a very diverse friend group.
he did.
He had a teal friend. Everybody used to say he was black. I mean, probably Skeeter, but he had a teal
His
friend.
name,
I know, right? His sister was orange, and his sister was she was a baddie though, because she was like a real like artsy fartsy. She wore like a beret. She was cute,
you
but she had
remember?
like a nasty attitude. Yeah, she did. She was like rude to Doug. She was like, "You're below me. Shut up." Doug was a jam.
And
Hey Arnold, baby. Hey Arnold. Football Head was man. I could go back right now and watch Football Head. I
that's
loved
wild.
Hey Arnold. It was so like it was a deep cartoon. Those who grew up with it, it was a deep cartoon. Sometimes you'd be watching and be like, oh my gosh, can you believe that? I found out that the girl who used to have a crush on him, Helga had a really bad toxic home life. Her mom used to drink all
Ugh.
day. That was
Ugh.
crazy, but it was funny
We're
at the same
watching
time.
cartoons. Can we
It
not have
was
toxic lives? Jesus, see what I'm saying, y'all? This is
that
what they
was a
did to
good cartoon.
cartoons.
That was a good
Jesus. Let's make
cartoon.
a cartoon and make it so that she has a toxic life.
But she was
Jesus.
funny though. She's the one who started she's the one who started Football Head. She was like, "Move, Football Head," and then she had a shrine to him. She was like, "He is so cute. He is so fine, but he got a football head." But Hey Arnold was a jam. I'm gonna tell you right now, when I was a little kid, to this day, like what, um, Real Monsters on Nickelodeon, baby. That was a show, baby. That was
What was
a
the name of it?
show. It was called Real Monsters. Yeah, there were monsters that used to hang out. No, they were monsters who used to hang out underground, and they used to have classes on being monsters all day. And they all were funny looking monsters. One of them looked like a bunny rabbit, and he used to get upset because he couldn't really scare people that good because he had bunny rabbit ears, and he was maroon looking. And so kids would be like, "What? This is a cute bunny," and he was like, "No." But the rest of them were really funky looking. Like he had a friend who he used to hold his eyes because his eyes, he had no sockets. He just held his eyes all day. Sometimes he put his eye down so he could do some other stuff, or put two eyes in one hand so he could do stuff with the other hand. Yeah, he had a mouth and just
Oh my God.
and one she used
I've
to
never heard of that, by the way.
I can't believe that. That's a
Never.
disservice to life. But the other one, she used to always pretend to be an umbrella stick, and so she would scare people that way. She was just a long stick. It was interesting. But yeah, they used to take classes on being monsters. It was a great show.
I've never
Now
heard of
this,
that.
I know we were talking about cartoons, and I'm gonna allow you to stick in something else if you want to talk about it. But if you was a millennial and you wasn't watching Power Rangers, what
That's
the fuck
fair.
was you doing with your life?
That's true.
Because it would go Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, okay? I used to be cutting up with Power Rangers. And I had this conversation with our brother one time. And I said, when you're a little kid, I talked about this with Terrence too, but when you're a little kid and somebody's like downing your show and they're like, ah, man, I don't want to watch that show, right? My mind was like, what is wrong with this motherfucker? How could you not like Power Rangers is on? Are they not seeing the show? Sit down and watch this so you can really grasp this because you missing it. How could you not? I used to have real big problems with that, especially about Power Rangers. I used to be like, like baffled.
Baby.
It was baffling. So moving on
I
from
do
there.
say
Go
one of the
ahead.
things that's interesting about our dynamic is because we would babysit you a lot.
Hmm.
And you would be just like, what are you talking about? Y'all need to sit down and watch this with me. So I would sit down and watch these things sometimes. And in my brain, I'd be like, this is wildly dumb. There were other ones that I was like, because I remember you're the one who got me into watching Powerpuff Girls. That was my
I'm glad you
top
mentioned
tier.
that.
I liked Powerpuff Girls.
They used to scoop
Power
Mojo Jojo
Rangers,
so quick.
bro, they were out of control.
They was out of control. Now I know they were bullies. Now, like, I look
They
back,
were.
I'm like, damn, they were bad. But they used to scoop a girl said that on, and I wish I knew her name. I would
Mojo.
say it now. But they used to scoop Mojo Jojo, and they had like a whole TikTok series recently. And like I said, this girl that
Hilarious.
was mentioning that, she was like, she was crying, laughing. She's from New Orleans. I wish I could figure out her name, but she's like, I can't believe he was in jail and they broke into jail to whip his ass. Like, they used to scoop him every day. They were going to beat his ass. I love the Powerpuff Girls. And I'm like, I wouldn't try nobody, like 5-year-olds who could fight. And they weren't scared to either.
Nope.
But that's another millennial cartoon that like do not
That was
play
a good
around.
one. That was a
That
good
was a
one.
good one. Now moving on, you were talking about Saturday cartoons again. We were the generation that closed the door on a lot of things.
Yeah, y'all
But
did. Thanks for
baby,
that.
another thing that baby, to this day, one Saturday morning was what they used to call on ABC, they used to have Saturday morning cartoons, and it would literally gear up. It would look like you were going on a roller coaster, like when they first started, and it would just like
I
go around
remember.
in circles and like show you the milk and like everything and the cereal getting started. And I remember that 5 hours of summer. I'm like, 5 hours of summer. This is incredible.
Yep.
Saturday is actually 5 hours of summertime. And it was just like, girl, they would gear up. And we had Recess, which was, it needs awards. Recess was a awesome cartoon.
It was not
Okay.
bad at all. And
Yeah,
it's
that was
real. Like, that's
yeah,
really how schools are.
it really is. There's a dynamic just like that. You're like,
Yes.
they do be acting like that. Recess was top freaking tier. Okay. The other one I will say, Pepper Ann. Pepper Ann was a good show. It wasn't Recess style, but it definitely was a good show.
I
Like,
vaguely remember it, but I'm not sure.
I loved Pepper Ann. Like, she was in middle school, and so she used to always be having like all these like just natural middle school problems. But loved Pepper Ann, so I mentioned that as well. Um, what was Angela Anaconda? That was the beginning of weird shows, to be honest, because Angela Anaconda she was cutting up. She was doing a little too much. Um, but yeah, we had some good shows, and I'm getting real deep into it.
I
But
love it.
do you combat any of those?
I combated them as you were saying them, some of them, but there were some that were good. I still stand by what I said, and even you started it by saying that you liked the older cartoons. Y'all were the remake generation. Y'all took our
Mm-mm,
music, you took
mm-mm,
our cartoons, and you tried to remix them and call them
mm-mm.
gargoyles, even though it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm
Stuff
not
like
gonna
that.
accept that. Somebody who knows more than me, please comment what was the dynamic in Gargoyles and why that girl hung out with them. Because I can't remember if she was a news reporter or a police officer. She was something of the sort. I think she was police. Was she the police? She might have been the police. I think she was. Yeah, I would hang out with gargoyles if I was the police.
I would not.
Oh, okay.
Mm. I worked
Well,
midnights. I'm not hanging out with nothing like that. That might be scary.
yeah, I think
Otherwise,
she
I
worked
can't
night.
work
I gotta
midnights.
figure her out. Somebody comment that. Um, so moving on from there, toys. Toys of a
Winning,
generation. Huh?
winning.
Winning. Tell me.
Hmm. Uh, First of all, we were the bike generation, so we had like our bikes not
I'm
playing.
not giving you
Okay,
bikes.
100% bikes was
Our
ours,
parents rode
baby.
bikes.
No, no, no. It's not bikes because no, it wasn't like they rode bikes. It was the style of bikes that we had. Like our bikes, the girl bikes were like you had streamers, You had high
Oh,
seats that you tied stuff off of.
the
You
baskets.
ha you had baskets. You had pegs that were pink. Like, it was legit, okay? And then the boy bikes looked like motorcycles. They would have, like, they used to come with these because it started out, we used to put cards on our tires, so we sounded like a
Oh,
motorcycle.
yeah.
Then they started
Yeah.
making these little things you could, like, businesses made these things that would go on your bike that would make them, like, sound like motorcycles. Fabulous. And here's why our toys were better. Because we had Saturday morning cartoons, the toys were advertised. So the toy makers and the toy companies had to work hard to garner our attention. And it was amazing. Barbie dolls. Barbie had to step her game up with our generation. That's when you
Yeah, she
started
did.
seeing more colors of Barbies. Baby,
Mm,
best gift I ever got, Barbie's Twirly Curls Barbie. Best
mm.
gift ever. Also, the baby dolls we were the Cabbage Patch Kid generation, okay? We
I knew you were gonna
started
say that.
these expensive dolls that came with birth certificates that we named. We picked them out so they looked like us. I mean, all the things were amazing. And I remember even our brother, he had these trucks, not monster trucks. They were like construction trucks made out of
Yep.
metal, just like regular construction trucks. And they were huge, like
Yeah.
humongous. You don't get that kind of stuff because nowadays, oh my God, you can't make it with metal. Somebody will get hurt. No, we had the, we
They
had
had big
the
deal.
best toys because again, people had to be innovative. They had to garner our interest. Um, I'm trying to I'm trying to think of all even Simon. I remember Simon coming out when I was a kid. The
Oh, yeah,
game,
Simon.
that was
Mhm.
so innovative. It's simple. You look at it now, it's simple, but the games we played, that one, you somebody told me that game Perfection was made to give us all anxiety.
I never even wanted that game. I played it before, but I never wanted it. I was like, uh-uh. I was an anxious kid.
For Arctic Wolf, he has it. Um,
He's over here like, don't do it.
like our card game Uno, like we were top tier
Oh,
on
Uno
how
started
we
with y'all?
again,
Gen
how
X?
we played was top tier. So the games and the toys had to be top tier. Baby, let me tell you my favorite toy ever. Besides my Cabbage Patch and my Twirly Curls Barbie, I had like 4 sets. First of all, to go along with my Easy Bake Oven. Baby,
Damn
that
it.
Easy Bake
I've been had.
Oven was, oh, I had cookies, I had cakes, I had icing I could whip up so I could ice my cakes. But along with that, our mom bought me miniature sets of Tupperware. I
Yes.
had I had cake dishes, I had plates and cups, bowls. I had like 4 different sets of mini Tupperware. So when I was serving my miniature cakes out of my miniature damn oven, baby, I would put them on the miniature plates and I had tea parties galore. You, you,
Tea parties are timeless.
bright baby, these tea parties were top tier. I had every dish you could think of in Tupperware. So I had place settings. The dolls had like, that was everything, baby. Everything. I'm dropping the
She
mic on that one.
yeah, she brought it all back. Um, so dang, yeah, you kinda got me on a couple things. I was really mad about the Easy Bake Oven, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
that started with y'all. I hate that for
Mm-hmm.
for us. I will say though too, I have a really nasty comment to say about Gen X. Y'all were the ones who, like I said, we closed the door on like going outside and having fun. I think y'all opened the door to sugary cereals and being advertised to as children so easily.
That might be
Yep,
true.
it was y'all. That was y'all.
It might
So
be
y'all
true.
opened the door on that bullshit. Now these kids are over here like, I want a Gabby doll. And you're like, damn it. It all started.
How do they advertise to kids nowadays? They don't have Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh my God. YouTube is there, babe. YouTube is there. And they have commercials and baby, and somehow they get through because Gabby's, what is it, Playhouse? Baby, she business. Okay. Them kids don't play around with that little girl. They make sure they get her doll, them cats that she hang around all day, like all that different kind of stuff. They get them. Trust me. They get them. Gabby is big business, baby. I'm like, what? I was like, where she came from? My daughter's like, Mom, don't you love that? I want those cat ears. I'm like, no.
Is that why all the kids nowadays want to be cats?
I think she exploited that more. I think kids always want to be some kind of animal, but I think she made it work. She was like, guys, I hang out with cats and I'm really cute, so you might want to too. Um, and then she goes to like this dream world and hangs out with cats even more. I'm like, girl, it's a lot going on over there.
Oh my
Oh man, you
gosh.
got me on a lot of things. And there's
Yeah.
some things that I played with that wasn't just like a conventional thing or not necessarily like to my generation. So speaking on my generation, um, you mentioned Simon. We had Bop It. Bop It was pretty stressful though sometimes. When you got too deep into Bop It, girl, I'm like, pull it, twist it, bop it. I'm like, uh, uh. And then it would go faster and stuff. So Bop It was fun. I had a couple Bop Its. Um,
I don't even know what that is.
yeah, well, you missed out. The other one I would say is American Girl dolls with American Girl dolls. Baby, I'll give you this. I don't think I ever had a firsthand American Girl doll. If I did, it was like a secondhand one. Somebody gave me one. I loved that American Girl dolls had lore to them. Girl, I would get the magazines and you could read their lore. They're like, oh, she actually likes to train horses. Her mom works in New York City. And this, that. I said, what now? She's at boarding school. You'd be like, what? And you're just flipping the pages of this catalog. And then on top of that, they'll tell you her lore. And then on top of that, they'll tell you all her accessories that she needs to be like enjoying being a horse girl and all this stuff. Girl, I loved it. I was like, oh, I used to write. Now we grew up, this is both Gen X and Millennial. We grew up in the catalog era. Catalogs, baby. Y'all don't understand the
Yes.
high you could get off a good catalog. I
Yeah.
used to run around there checking off. Yeah, I want that. I want that. As if mom was going to bust
Check,
out the check
check,
and buy all that
check.
stuff. But I will tell you, like, baby, who used to sit at Delia's and who was the other one? Oh my gosh. It's escaping me now and it's driving me crazy. But I used to get down with Delia's. Wet Seal used to send one too. Limited 2, baby. How could I forget? Limited
Limited to.
2.
Yes.
Limited 2. If you a millennial girl and you didn't know what Limited 2 was, what rock was you under? Because Limited 2 built me, okay? I blow up furniture. I had a whole living room set of blow up furniture from my bedroom. Don't play with me. Blow up. And say I wouldn't patch it if I seen a hole. Don't play with me. I didn't play with Limited 2 at all. I was gonna
Oh
get me
my.
a lip. That was mall era stuff. I was gonna get me a lip gloss. Okay, I was gonna go get me some kind of little top, something that I seen in that magazine already. I didn't play with. You know what used to get me though, and I don't know if this is every millennial or if this was me, baby. If I liked the store, I had to check out their website. And it
Oh.
was funny because back in the day, like websites weren't just stores. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, this is just our store. It was like sometimes stores had games. They had like all kind of stuff. Do you understand how I used to be on Build-A-Bear's website all the time playing a game? Every day. I said,
Oh
let me
my
play my
God.
little matching Build-A-Bear game. Girl, cutting up. I don't know. Back in the day, they used to be put in effort, okay? Very much effort was in stuff back in the day. Them websites was never just website. Barbie's website, do you think it was just Barbie stuff to buy? Girl, Barbie's had games for days on that website. I used to cut up. I love
I
that
had
about that.
no idea.
Baby, it was never just a website. It was entertainment. It kept you
I
there.
love this.
Um, but yeah. So, yeah, I got girl limited to, it's like a cup of coffee for me. I get jacked up thinking about it. I'll be like, what? It's amazing stuff. But we have to move on.
You didn't talk
So
about no toys, by the way. You talked about
I did
magazines and
American Girl.
I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Bop It.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, did you hear all the stuff I talked about? We
Yeah,
won that
you
round,
know what I'm
y'all.
saying? I'm trying to
We
get
won that
on to
round.
time. And okay, I'll let you win that round because you know what? Time-wise, I wanted to talk about other things. But the other part about that is that I had the respect enough not to bring up stuff that came from different eras, like Barbies, because I was a Barbie bitch, okay? So don't play with me. I loved
Okay,
Barbies.
I'll admit and say Barbies they transcend, but I do think like they started to step their game up at that point. But I'll
Um,
give you that. But I will say too, one more thing I want to throw out there: Rubik's cubes, baby.
that is not even a fun game.
It was absolutely fun. Yes, it
That
was.
is an
You just mad because you
aggravating
could.
game.
That was just you was the one that used to peel the stickers off and move them around because you couldn't win,
Damn
didn't you?
right. I hated that game. I was like, okay, look, I solved it.
You could see all the sticky stuff around it still.
Yeah, like, them things,
No,
yeah, the stickers coming
I
all
don't.
good.
I don't think you
Mm-mm,
did.
I don't
All
care.
right,
I hated that.
moving
Not
on.
fun. Moving on. So this is kind of teen years, and like I said, this is loosely, I think it's like when you come into knowing what's going on. Um, that preteen, teen years where you're like, oh, you're kind of developing your own taste and stuff. So let's talk about sports heroes. I know you're going to use the givens. I don't even care, but we had some too. Sports heroes. Can you think of some?
Like I remember trying to think. I think that was about the time that Michael Jordan and you had like the Bulls. I wasn't even a big basketball girl, and that made me start watching basketball. Because that whole
Mm-hmm.
team, Michael Jordan was the flagship, but you also had the whole team, Scottie Pippen, and like the entire team was amazing. Um, I will say I was always a football girl, no matter what. The Bucks always
Mm-hmm.
sucked throughout my whole younger years. So, but I still watch them. So I can't really say like, oh, they were heroes because, well, I take that back. I did love myself some Doug Williams on the Bucks. I did a lot. But there wasn't like, because our team wasn't the greatest, it was rough to have heroes around there.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but then, girl, we
At
talked
the
about this in
time.
another episode. The Olympics came around and back then, we had some Olympic people. Again, you know, how you was talking about gymnastics for us, track and field. We had Flojo, uh, who could fly.
The
Jackie Joyner
fly.
Kersey, who could
Yeah.
fly right next to her. I mean, like, we had, to me, those were some of our sports heroes that I can remember, and that made you want to watch. Like, those are the people who made you want to watch sports. We also, on the baseball world, we had Darryl Strawberry. Um, we had, we had them in every sport. And that's what, like, literally, those are the people
Ken
I would watch.
Griffey.
Ken Griffey Jr. I would watch
Yeah.
because of those people. So yeah, we were shutting it down in sports too. You're welcome.
Shut up. You're making me blank a little bit, but I'm all duh. I have to start with LeBron. LeBron James. Um, Bronny. I mean, he's really, you know what I'm saying, like
Okay, he's not
our
Jordan.
era. Um, I will say I accept, you could say what you want to say, but Tom Brady was our era.
Tom
You know what I'm
Brady's a
saying? It
good
was like right
player.
as we were all, yeah. So Tom Brady. Um, I mean, I know you're gonna probably disagree with me, so I'm not, but I feel like, we did grow up with the Serena Williams kind of,
No, I don't disagree.
okay. Cause I'm
No,
like,
I don't
yeah, we grew
disagree.
up with that. Like those were like, coming up
Yeah,
as we were growing up.
Venus and Serena were coming out at that
Yes.
particular time. I'll give
Yeah.
you that.
And I think Tiger Woods was in his heyday for sure when I was growing up as well.
He's not now. He just got arrested again for DUI.
Damn. Come on, Tiger.
He just got arrested again.
You can afford a
Rolled
damn
his Range Rover
driver.
over. He,
God
he won't buy
damn.
it. He won't buy a driver. He just keeps wrecking cars and going to jail.
Get you a driver. You could afford Uber Black, bruh. Gosh. Uber sponsor us so we could let him know about what he could get, his
Please.
options.
2 days ago, he got arrested.
Dang, Tiger, why you do
Yep.
stuff like this?
And his mugshot looks horrendous.
Last time your wife beat you in front of people and it was just crazy. So I kind of gave you a pass. I was like, that's wild. She hit him with a golf club of all
A
things.
golf club. Bro, she had to.
She
Let's
had
go on
to?
record. She had to. I mean, he
I
was
don't
doing the
think so.
most.
I think
I mean,
that's still abuse.
it is. You're right.
She would have,
But
you know what I'm saying? If he hadn't have done what he done and whatever, I think they would have took her to jail that night too. They would have been like, girl, you going to jail. Which she probably needed to anyway, but
she should have
that's a whole
probably
nother
anyways.
conversation.
But
I
I
didn't
just
even
want
know
to note
about
that
Tiger.
was,
Now I'm embarrassed.
that's one of your, I was going to say, you just noted that was one of your sports heroes you just named.
Yeah, not my hero. I ain't even watch no golf like that. That just happened to be on ESPN when I was walking by. I'm like, what is going on there? But Imma move on from there. I you know, he threw me off. I don't even know nobody. Let's move on to music.
Go
Who
ahead.
in
Oh,
those teen years, preteen years, youngish time, Imma tell you right now, I'm just gonna concede immediately. I immediately concede because Gen X had incredible music. Yes, millennials, we had some good music, but we were really on the tail end of the good music era. So I'm just gonna concede immediately. I will tell you some people I liked, but go ahead.
I I was gonna say, like, hands down, we gonna take it. And here's why too we're gonna take it, because of a couple reasons. Radio was still getting played, so people had to work hard. We
Mhm,
had MTV was still playing videos. Like, it was people used to live to watch them videos on MTV too.
mhm.
mu- Musicians were still trying to be creatives. They weren't just trying to
Oh,
digitize
yeah.
their voices and
Mhm,
use sampling of other people's music. Not to say that we
mhm.
didn't sample, but it was just different. Like the way they sampled, like an Ice Cube sampled in Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder's song in Today Was a Good Day, but the way he sampled it, top tier. It was amazing. But when
I
you,
think that was,
was it not
an
Stevie
Isley
Wonder?
Brothers song.
It was an Isley Brother. You're right. My bad.
Yeah, I
It
was
was an
like, "Wait a
Isley Brothers
minute."
song. It wasn't Stevie Wonder. You're right. But it was just amazing. Like the way we
Yeah,
did music back
you
then,
parlayed something.
they parlayed something. But I think it's because, and I will give credit where credit's due, it came off the heels of the generation before us.
Mhm.
And that's where it came from, for sure.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
like, I feel like during our generation, rap made just it it really blew up.
At
Like,
its
you
peak.
had Run DMC, you had Public Enemy, but then you had some very different styled, musicians coming in that were rapping. I'm trying to remember, I just blanked on his name, but I can hear the song. Um, you have like Arrested Development that was starting to come around then. Very different type of musicians that were coming out and getting recognized. But I'm
Mhm,
telling you, like rap music, there were movies being made around it at that particular time because it was just so
mhm.
epic, and
Yeah.
they were testing the boundaries because they were definitely trying to shut them down. Um,
Mhm.
they were Two Live Crew couldn't even, they got arrested on stage. They had like, so you had these big things happening around music, which made it even better.
Yeah.
Um, I look at it like they were truly singing and rapping about things that happening around them, but they weren't going out of their way
Mm.
to make drama happen around them so they could rap. And I feel like that
Mm-mm.
happens now. It was so dumb.
Mhm.
But you look, Run
Mhm.
DMC, LL Cool J, Big Daddy Kane, um, you had Public Enemy, you had even Vanilla Ice. I mean, for his time, he wasn't
He could
his
jump
couple
too.
songs he
Right.
made was good, like it was really, really good.
Don't
And
forget the ding ding a ding ding a ding ding ting. That was the difference between
yes,
him
that
and
was the difference between Under Pressure,
he was like, "No, mine goes ting."
Ting.
Stop. Stop, Vanilla.
Stop. You did collaborate and listen. You need to stop.
Yeah, you did.
Um, I will tell you too, though, because radio was such a big thing, that's why music was such a big thing. Because I remember, baby, my preteen years, at 9 o'clock at night, you was begging your mama, please don't make me go to bed, mama. The top five at 9 is going to be on. And you got to call into the radio station, and the radio station would put you on. Babe, hi, my name is Monique. I want to say hi to my best friend, so and so. I want to say hi to my boyfriend, so and so. I want to say hi to my friend, this one, and this one. You, you know how we do things. And I want to give a shout out to my school. And you say your school name. And the number 3 song is Run DMC, My Adidas. Baby, they would play you before the song and then play the song. And all
He
your
was a
friends the
celebrity.
next day would be like, I heard you on the radio. You would get immediately when you hung that phone up, you were like, let me get out my best fit because I'm about to be popular. I'm gonna be like, it was happening.
Right cohorts, you'll be good at sports.
I mean, it was. epic the way things happened like that. On Saturdays, you had Casey Kasem.
Oh,
Baby,
yeah.
you don't know about the syndicated show of Casey Kasem that did the top
Yeah.
40 across the
Yep.
nation. And he would
Yeah.
count the songs down, and you just needed to know who was number one
Yeah.
because you knew it was your jam. Even though Casey Kasem was 1,000 years old, Casey
A
stayed on top
1,000.
of what was going on, baby.
Yeah, he
Let me
did.
tell you. So, somebody made him mad. Um,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm like, we liked music so much and music was so integral in our society that is
Mhm.
why we were like, oh my God, the music I feel like was so much better. So there were so many, like I can't even name them all. There were so many good artists at the time. I highlighted the hip hop because I feel like hip hop really did come up during our era. Like it
Yes.
was, and it just kept taking flight.
Right.
So I didn't want to go at you too hard since you already conceded because you know, baby.
I did concede. I
Oh,
have a few honorable mentions.
go ahead.
You forgot to mention Outkast on your end.
No, I didn't because for me, I was a little bit older and I thought you were saying like preteen. So that's why I didn't mention
I said,
Outkast.
yeah,
But
teenage years. I did say that for teenage years. So yeah,
Outkast was
when you were a
absolutely,
grown
when I was
person,
talking
yeah.
about the different kind of
Yeah.
artists, they were
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah.
Baby, to this day,
To this
Outkast,
day. Over 1 million sold to this day. Oh.
take it lightly. Oh, never mind. Don't make me start.
I know that's all. Like we know Outkast lyrics.
Let me
I will
tell
say
you.
honorable mention.
Before we move on, there's one other one too that like that I did fail to mention and I should have. And I'm gonna just drop it like this. Uncle Ricky, would you read us a bedtime story,
I
please,
knew it.
huh? Please. Oh, you get the
Here
bedtime
we go.
story. Go. Once upon a time not long ago, where people wore pajamas and lived life slow, where laws were stern and justice stood, and people were behaving like they ought to. Okay, we better stop because we're going to get
Yeah.
copyright infringement.
Yeah, they'll be like, wait a minute. That's the whole dang song. We got to do a TikTok with that.
Yes.
I will say for the millennials, we have some legends. Beyonce.
Oh, my.
Beyonce. I don't care what you think about Beyonce. People be, oh,
You're
you
right.
don't like Beyonce. I don't care what you think about Beyonce.
She did.
Beyonce is the boss. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what? Beyonce mushed all of the rest of Destiny's Child in the face, though. Just so you
And
know.
you know what's funny? They don't say a bad thing about her though. They know
They
better.
don't because they know
They
the
be like, "Oh,
beehive will
you're
come
right,
after
girl."
them.
And her and Kelly is like they locked in still. But they be like,
Yeah,
she's like
still.
still being like, that's still my best. Beyonce. We grew up in the
I'll
era
give you
of
that
Britney Spears. I
for
was
sure.
not a fan. I was not a fan. But we had the NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. I mean, every now I know the songs, but it wasn't like I was never a boy band girl. I was having that conversation with someone, a Gen Zer, who they are into this K-pop girl. This K-pop stuff is something else, honey. It's something we ain't never seen. But it is
Some boy
actually
bands were
because
good in our
some boy
generation.
bands.
Boys to Men.
Oh
In
yeah,
the
Boys
oh
to
baby.
Men is back again.
ABC, BBC, baby.
Oh,
Those
but
were good boy bands. Go on, I'm
those are
sorry.
those are good. But yeah, so I wasn't into those, but I will say, Boys to Men. And this was your era though. Dang, why is it slipping me?
Oh,
Mr. Telephone Man. Who
oh,
my boys is? That's what you call it.
mm,
Dang,
hold on.
it's gonna drive me crazy. I
I'm gonna
know
look it
them.
up. What? Keep talking. I'll look it up.
Um, but that was your era. I'll give you that
It
one. Those
was.
are the ones I was more into. I could do Boys to Men, Blackstreet,
Oh, baby. New Edition.
New Edition. There you go. That was yours.
And they all spun off and split up too and still did good on their
And
singular
still
careers
did
too,
good.
babe.
When I tell
Bobby
you,
Brown,
Bobby was
we
cutting up. Bobby was
it's
cutting
my
up.
prerogative. That's what Bobby said to
I
him,
was like,
y'all.
that's right.
We
Our
gotta
mom used
stop
to
because we're
adopt
gonna have a
that.
music episode
Yeah, we gonna
and we
cut
don't
up.
want to we're gonna
All
cut
right,
up.
so moving on. Let's move a little faster than this. I want to talk about technology of our time. What do you think was the top-notch technology? And yes, I do believe I won.
Okay. Whoa. Pump your
Yeah,
brakes, okay?
yeah, we won.
We did start, that was the first, I think, generation that started having computers in their house.
Yeah,
So we did have a computer in our home. Um,
we had
and game
laptops.
systems. game system. I don't even like how you interrupted me to say that. Okay. Anyways, game systems started stepping their game up because we went from like my generation, we had the Atari and what was the one right before the Atari? Um,
Coleco?
yes.
Yeah.
We had that.
ColecoVision,
We
yeah.
didn't have a Coleco. Our uncle Ron had a Atari. So we would play it like with him. We didn't have an Atari at our house, but baby, we had a Nintendo. And when we got that Nintendo, that was the only time that you could get us shut down. And there was going to be 30 kids crammed in somebody's house playing Nintendo, watching somebody. That was the start of people watching other people play games
Yeah,
because we
like,
did that.
I know that was y'all's Twitch. Like, look at,
Yeah, we did that. Um, we would like, and we probably had like the first, you had you had the Nintendo, and then we had the Super Nintendo. And then there was like the Nintendo, I think the Cube or something that kind of came up in our
64.
generation. Oh yeah, it was the Nintendo
That's
64 that came
why
up
I,
next.
I take on 64 because I feel like that was my age.
Oh,
Y'all
that
was
was
getting
you?
too grown.
You might
That's
have
when
been, but
graphics started going down. I mean, it's
uh,
going up, like really turning up really.
like turning up. But
Yeah.
I feel like boy, them game systems was fire. Don't hate on us because we had on our computer, we had Encarta to do our book reports
Oh
now.
my God. You really didn't. That really was not you. You had a real encyclopedia. I had Encarta.
We
Like,
had
and
Encarta too.
we had to get the new version of Encarta every time too, because they were like, oh, it's an update to these encyclopedias. But I will say we had the generation of graphics. We were the generation of 3D graphics. Y'all didn't know nothing about that. Y'all was flat and being like, think, 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 up, down, up, down. We was like moving around in a circle. And when I tell you, and you know it was true, when Mario came out and was like, here we go, like he was cutting up. When he had that 3D, now the one thing is he could get in an angle where you could see right through him. I don't know why that would happen, but most of the time, girl, he was cutting up. He was in and out. He was like going, I'm like, wow, he could go in a circle. So we started that. And I told you already, when I had a PlayStation, I had the PlayStation 2 with Tekken, eating y'all up. Baby, that was a time. Baby, and he was boxy. The funny thing is the graphics were so boxy and so like stiff, like they're not like how they are now. And I was just like, man, we was in our bag. That was wonderful. And like I said, we're the generation who had laptops. Our own laptops at that. They're like, yeah, that's my brother's laptop. This is my laptop. Like,
Oh no,
so
we did not.
yeah. Yeah, so I dug that. It's totally different now because now like the technology is just like, like
It's
whatever.
off the
But
charts.
TVs, when plasma screen TVs came out, that flat screen blew everybody's mind. Out of control.
Y'all
Out of
got us on
control.
that.
Yeah. Y'all, because there
We
was a
grew up
lot of
with a
boxy TV.
we grew up with a big screen that you had to like open it and flip it
Open.
open, and it had three big like color things that
Hmm.
would project onto the screen and mix to make the colors. And it
Yeah.
was always like a little too green. I mean,
A little too green every time.
yeah. I'll
But it
give
looked
y'all
like
technology.
literally, it looked like something from the original Star Trek that used to
It
just like, I was like, computer, turn on TV. Oh, you don't work like that? Shit. Okay. I thought that's how you did.
it really did. It did. I'll give y'all. Okay, we won all the other categories though, so I'll give y'all technology.
Yeah, so you kind of. So I'm going to end off on this one.
Tell me.
This is just a short one for being a young adult. Partying.
I feel like we partied better than y'all. We partied better than y'all because we were the generation that clubbing, baby,
We clubbed. We clubbed
we
down.
we clubbed house parties. We house
Oh,
partied.
y'all beat us in the house party.
Okay, you didn't have to know the person who was throwing the party. You were invited. You know why? Because our parties had flyers.
Oh,
House parties, baby. Yes,
you didn't
because
even know who
now
he was going
since
to.
y'all had laptops, we used y'all to print flyers for our parties.
Print this flyer for me real quick.
Print this flyer for me real fast.
Hook it up to the printer real quick.
Baby. And when I tell you,
Mm.
like, you would have hundreds on hundreds on hundreds of people at house parties. You know that joke, "It ain't a party till the police come"? It
Mm,
came from us.
yeah.
Like, and like I said, the club, and this goes back to music, radio stations, that's when they started being like, "Yo, we gonna be at this club tonight, da 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 da." And
That's
we'd be
true.
like, "So are we." And they'd be like,
Us too.
win yourself a bottle club service." Yeah,
And
all,
there
all of it. We were shutting clubs down, going to breakfast afterwards. I mean, like, it was house parties. They last till, like I said, till the cops showed up. Then you went to breakfast afterwards, shut down Denny's. Denny's was 24 hours. We shut Denny's down. I mean, it was,
shut Diddy
we,
down.
we partied. And I think we were the beginning too of the generations that didn't really care about, genres of music. We would go to a lot
Mhm.
of different types of clubs. You would have
I
a
agree
good
with
mix
that.
of people.
Yeah.
And it was, baby, top shelf partying because of the
I
house parties alone. We won.
I really do give you the house
Yeah.
party aspect.
There
Um,
was a movie about it called House Party.
shut up. But the club, and I do say y'all was in the club. I ain't gonna lie, y'all was in the club. We
Everybody in the
ended off the
club
club
getting
because I don't think these
tipsy.
kids go to the club like we went to the club. But girl,
No.
I mean, like millennial clubbing was peak clubbing. I feel like the business casuals, like everybody knows about the business cash. You know what I'm saying? Come into the club with a blazer, a pink
Sh-
blazer, and a tight dress, and some chunky heels that are about 7, 8 inches, like shutting them down and standing on them all night, baby. We didn't even, no comfortable shoes wear for what? What are we doing that? We'll drink the pain away. We don't care. Like it was nothing. Girl, and I'm telling you, and we used to call this the bimbo dress. I
Oh,
still
yes.
look back at the picture of me in the bimbo dress, just tight dress everywhere. I do say I used to call mine the Kelly Bundy because it was bad to death.
Shout out to Kelly Bundy.
Kelly Bundy, man. I'm
She
telling
did
you,
rock
Christina
them,
Applegate, you was putting them on, like, you know what I'm saying?
putting them
But
on game.
exactly. Christina Applegate, you gotta put me on. But so yes, but I had the bimbo dress. It was business cash. I had a little vest. I had a little blazer every now and then.
Did you say a
And they
vest?
yes, had a little vest, shutting them down. I could take it from the office to the club. It didn't matter. It was still cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? And some people, girl, I was laughing. Some girl was saying, she was like, sometimes I used to shut the club down so hard on a Thursday that I would show up in the same outfit I wore to the club on that Friday morning. I left the club to my job.
Oh my God.
She's like, I took a nap in the parking lot. Like, that's how
That's
far hard
wild.
she partied. Like,
That's
she was no
wild.
joke. But them heels, baby, I had a hard time parting with them heels because we used to have that platform in the front and that back was just tall for no reason, baby.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time parting with some of them heels, baby. I had
They
some
came back
heels
for
for
a little
you.
bit.
They did come back for a little bit, but I'm telling you, I had one that was like shiny with like gold studs in them. I had all those like different kind of like just, chunky, just out of control colors, just acting up, just for the club. Girl hurt me when I had to start wearing wedges. I was like, I'm getting old. Dang. And they don't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
They
They
don't do
don't do
that.
that for the club. They be just looking like these kids is too casual for me. We was business
They are,
cash, okay? But
yeah. They casual with everything nowadays, though.
yeah, they always casual. But I could definitely go for this all day, and I think we might have to revisit this one day. This
We
is
are
gonna be a
going to
comeback
have to.
episode.
Yes.
But
I think
and
when
I
we
want
do
to,
our music episode, we're going to have to talk about generationally
yeah,
how it did.
definitely.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I do think Gen X kind of won this, and I need some help. Please, y'all come in the comments. Help, millennials. Tell me what we was better at, please. But for now, I will say you guys could always
Dun, dun,
follow
dun,
us
dun,
on
dun.
socials. Whatever, Monique. Follow us on
Rocky theme was
socials.
playing. Sorry.
There
Dun,
is, we're
dun,
on
dun, dun,
TikTok,
dun.
trying number 2, have a convo. On Instagram, we are trying the number 2, have a convo pod. We are on YouTube. I am trying to have a conversation with you. And we are on Street Tales website. We're on there, streettailsnetwork.com. And you can connect with us all those ways. You can even email us at trying number 2, have a convo at gmail.com. Go tell Monique about herself because I don't appreciate it. Okay. But for right now, this conversation, oh, wait a minute. For right now, I'm Kasha and that's Monique. And this
Winner.
conversation is over.
It's over.